Seattle Seahawks fans, I don't know about you, but it feels like we are caught in a massive whirlwind after hearing that Vita Vea has officially requested a trade out of Tampa Bay. This is a game changer because a massive defensive tackle with deep ties to Seattle is now suddenly available on the open market. We have to look at two sides of this: why his past in Washington makes him a perfect fit, and why our current roster might block a move. Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your city below. Let's dive in. We are a brand new channel pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers, and every single person who joins this community helps us keep going. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers star defensive tackle Vita Vea has officially requested a trade, sending shockwaves through the NFL landscape. As Seattle Seahawks fans, we know Vea well because he played his college ball at the University of Washington before the Buccaneers selected him with the number 12 overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. While he has spent his entire career in Florida, including a 2020 Super Bowl run, the news reported by Ted Nguyen of The Athletic suggests he now wants to move closer to his West Coast family. This is where it gets real because even though the connection to our city makes a reunion feel like a dream scenario, the reality of our current roster makes a deal highly unlikely. Our fan base is certainly buzzing with excitement at the thought of adding a veteran of his caliber to our defensive-minded rotation, especially while we are chasing another championship. Yet, we already have Byron Murphy II and Leonard Williams anchoring our defensive line, and both players are central to our long-term strategy. Williams is playing in the final year of his contract, and we clearly intend to re-sign him, while Murphy is a vital piece under contract for 3 more seasons. We simply cannot justify the cost of acquiring Vea when we have such significant financial commitments looming for our existing stars. With the trade request now public, the question remains whether our front office might consider a low-risk move to bolster our depth, or if they are entirely satisfied with the current personnel tasked with defending our title as we prepare for the next phase of the season. The most surprising aspect of this trade request is that Vita Vea is actually eyeing a return to his roots in Washington, specifically looking to leverage his collegiate ties to the Pacific Northwest to find a new home. His journey began when the Buccaneers selected him with the number 12 overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, and he has remained a cornerstone of their defense ever since, even earning a Super Bowl ring during the 2020 campaign. Here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. While he seeks a move closer to the West Coast, his current contract status makes this a logistical nightmare for our front office. With Vea entering the final year of his deal, we would essentially be renting a high-priced veteran instead of building for the future. If we look at our internal roster management, we have already invested heavily in Byron Murphy II and Leonard Williams, both of whom serve as our foundation. Adding another massive salary to the defensive line room creates a bottleneck that limits our financial flexibility for necessary long-term extensions. The front office is likely prioritizing the development of our 2024 first-round pick out of Texas, who needs consistent snaps to reach his ceiling. Our leadership team prefers a path where they retain players like Williams through calculated extensions rather than disrupting the current chemistry with a late-stage trade. History tells us that mid-season acquisitions rarely provide the return on investment that drafting and developing young talent offers over the long run. And for a team currently chasing another championship trophy, stability remains the most precious asset we possess. So that is the news regarding the trade request, but let us look at the bigger picture for our squad. The truth is, this situation highlights a pivotal crossroads for our organization as we navigate the current campaign while keeping one eye on long-term stability. Adding a veteran like Vita Vea would certainly bolster our defensive front, but we must consider the steep cost of disrupting a unit that already features Byron Murphy II and Leonard Williams as our primary anchors. Because Vea is entering the final year of his deal, much like Williams, bringing him in would create an immediate logjam that forces management to choose between high-level players rather than building consistent depth. This strategic hesitation is vital because our focus must remain on securing a long-term extension for Murphy, our talented first-round pick from Texas who serves as the foundation of our future. If we sacrifice our available funds to chase a rental player, we risk compromising the salary cap flexibility needed to keep our core talent in Seattle. Looking ahead to our upcoming divisional matchups, maintaining our current defensive chemistry is far more beneficial than forcing a splashy acquisition that does not address an urgent roster void. We are currently positioned to contend, and preserving our existing defensive identity gives us the best chance to remain competitive against our NFC West rivals. By trusting our current personnel, we ensure that our championship aspirations stay firmly within reach without sacrificing the sustainability of our roster. We have the right pieces in place to win now, and sometimes the best move is the one you do not make at all. The news that Vita Vea has requested a trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has certainly sparked some intense conversation among us Seahawks fans. On one hand, the case for bringing in a player with his pedigree is quite compelling, especially as we aim to sustain our momentum and secure another Super Bowl trophy. According to Ted Nguyen of The Athletic, the defensive lineman has a strong desire to relocate closer to his West Coast roots or perhaps join the Raiders. And his familiarity with the University of Washington would surely make him a comfortable addition to our defensive-minded roster. Adding an experienced veteran who has already climbed the mountain of a Super Bowl victory could provide that extra edge we need to dominate the trenches. And the more I look at this, the clearer it becomes that the financial and logistical hurdles are simply too high for this to be a realistic move for our front office. We already have a formidable tandem in Byron Murphy II and Leonard Williams holding down those starting spots. Between Williams being in his contract year and the need to prioritize a future long-term extension for our 2024 first-round pick in Murphy, our salary cap space is better utilized elsewhere. I believe the speculation surrounding Vea is largely overblown because we are quite set at his position. While the idea of a homecoming is sentimental and undeniably catchy for the media, we have a clear plan for our defensive line that does not involve overextending for a veteran who does not fit our immediate fiscal strategy. Here is where I land on this. We are already stronger than the noise suggests. When you weigh the prospect of acquiring a star like Vita Vea against the current strength of our defensive front, the picture that emerges is one of a franchise wisely prioritizing long-term stability over a short-term splash. Now here's the thing, the Seahawks are clearly building for a sustained window of contention by trusting the tandem of Byron Murphy II and Leonard Williams rather than shaking up the roster. As fans, we should feel incredibly confident heading into this season because our leadership is exhibiting the kind of disciplined fiscal restraint that winning organizations possess. By avoiding a trade for a rental player in the final year of his deal, the front office is protecting the salary cap flexibility needed to secure a long-term extension for our 2024 first-round pick. This strategic patience signals that the organization believes we have the personnel required to compete for another title right now without sacrificing our future. It is a mature approach that reflects the wisdom of a team that knows exactly who they are and where they are heading over the next several seasons. Given that we are already set at defensive tackle, would you rather the team save those resources to retain Leonard Williams or prioritize a massive contract for Byron Murphy II next year? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. We are still pushing toward our first 1,000 subscribers, and every one of you helps us get there. Go Hawks! I'll see you in the next one.